the Michigan Department of Transportation Jackson TSC Manager, Kelby Wallace. Hi, Kelby.
How you doing today, Bart? Good to see you.
How are you?
Good.
TZD towards 0 deaths. We've got a long way to go, don't we?
Yeah, so I thought it was a good day to wear this. This is my new orange version. Kind of represent the orange of the road workers we have, but kind of a tip this time of year, we've got darkness coming earlier in the morning, darkness coming earlier in the evening, and sometimes we still have a lot of road work going on out there. So maybe I thought maybe I could get them a reminder to folks when you're driving through those work zones to pay attention when the dusk or dawn is approaching. And even on normal roads, we've got deer running around. You know, they always say don't veer for deer, just, you know, don't swerve off the road and hit something worse. But slow down, put the phone down, pay attention.
Seems like the sun in the fall, I don't know the angles or whatever, but it just seems at dawn and dusk the sun is, I don't know, more direct or brighter, or I don't know.
Definitely bright in the morning. I think you're right on there with that angle of the sun coming up. It's lower.
So we have 94 full speed. You guys have been opening up exit ramps and interchanges like crazy the last week or so.
Yeah. So we've had some good weather in September. Really helped us. Dry weather. So we did a lot. The Elm Road new bridge over the freeway is open. Our 3 roundabouts there are open and working. I drove through them on the way to your show here today. We've got the westbound entrance ramp from Elm Road that's going to open tomorrow. We've still got the westbound exit that goes to Seymour Road is open, so we've got kind of half the interchange open, but we do have Elm Road over the freeway open, and that's I've already seen lots of folks using that, and it's really impressive. It's going to be a very, you know, hopefully something people are proud of, and it's going to move traffic safely and efficiently over there.
Yeah, I'm really excited to test it out, because I think a lot of people I just did not like that interchange, especially getting off 94 eastbound. It seemed like it was almost half a blind turn left, but that's eliminated with these roundabouts. You have a drone flying over today, so we'll have pictures in the future, but today you brought along some of the progress photos.
Yeah, so this one actually we're starting over out on the west end of the county. This is our Michigan Avenue and I94 interchange that opened up, I believe, last week. And I thought it was cool to show this picture of, this is the decorative concrete at the roundabouts. And one of my staff who works in my office, who's a very dedicated, great worker, he's from the Western School District, grew up, went to school there, and we worked with the local community. That's between the color in the background there, the maroon and the gold is there to represent the Western Panthers over there. I'm not a Panther fan, but that's okay. You know, we want to represent the community when we're rebuilding this infrastructure. And one of my staff, Reed Hackworth, was very instrumental working on these colors. And so we call these the Reed Roundabouts in our office as a joke. But, you know, just a little bit, and this has been open for about a week there, that interchange there.
That's cool.
Michigan, yeah. And this is just kind of a picture of their paving operation over there. So we kind of have the westbound side of 94 done from the Michigan Avenue over to the Calhoun County line area. And now we're working on shifting traffic over onto that new westbound roadway, and we're going to work on eastbound between now and the end of November, and that'll be it kind of for this year out on that portion of that project.
Yeah, and that project, there are 2 separate distinct projects on I-94. One, the main one that we've been in for a few years, and then this one, the western Jackson County to Calhoun County. That's separate, and that's more recent.
Yeah. So now here, like I said, I'll have updated pictures next time. So this is a picture actually this morning. This is at 94 at West Ave. So we're looking at the westbound exit ramp to West Avenue, and so you're kind of looking northwest. There's some of the new hotels there in the background. So just today, that ramp on the far right side of the interchange, which will be going from westbound 94 to northbound 127, has now opened up. And that piece in the middle there, that is you can see the black top in the middle there, that's going to be closed. So that was normally for folks that want to come on westbound 94 and take a left and head south into West Ave into Jackson. Now they're going to have to follow that other ramp, go to the north and go up to Parnell Road, turn around and come back down south if they're headed in that direction.
And that's, of course, temporary, because once the divergent diamonds are complete, people would actually be going, if they're going westbound, they'll be actually crossing on the bridge and then exiting from...
Yeah, so once that's what we're doing right now, we'll be taking out that piece right there in the middle that's the blacktop, and we'll be finishing the concrete down below and connecting to that ramp so that, and we're scheduled, I believe it's somewhere near the end of October to open this back up, and then folks would come off of westbound and then be able to take their left, and then they'll actually stay on the opposite side of the roadway, and then cross back over.
So the whole thing, the whole interchange, West Ave, 94, that will be done by the end of October?
It is tentatively, we're looking at opening this, because we have this piece right here.
It's two parts.
Two parts, and then we have the piece would be the eastbound entrance ramp to 94 from southbound 127.
It must be hard, because, I mean, they're all, it's like puzzle pieces.
It is very difficult to construct while we're trying to maintain traffic. I said it'd been nice to do a complete shutdown, but we know that's not realistic with the volume and everything. I have a piece here. This is the Lansing Avenue Bridge. We did get a little graffiti on the bridge there, so we'll take care of that here. We still have to do some of our sealing and painting on the bridge. You can see on the left side of the screen where we've painted our decorative stones, and then on the right side of the bridge we still have to do that, so we'll kind of take care of that. We've heard from a few folks, and we acknowledge that it was out there. We just are waiting to kind of do all the work at once to clean all that stuff up. But I think my main reason for this picture was to show the freeway down below that we're pouring that median barrier wall, and we're pouring our light foundations for our overhead lighting, and that's kind of the last piece for this portion of Mainline 94 before the winter season. So we're working here from the Lansing Ave area over to Airport to finish that median barrier wall and install the final overhead lights for safety.
So 94 through Jackson County is just, it's going to be a showpiece for MDOT and really for Jackson. So don't graffiti parts of it, please. That's too bad.
So now we jumped to downtown Jackson. So these are the railroad bridges, and this is the railroad bridge at Jackson. And so you can see here, this is actually the what we call the abutment wall, the wall that holds the bridge beams up. And they've built that under the existing tracks. And then they're actually building some retaining walls now. When they see the forms there in the picture, and pouring the concrete down in there. And we're also putting that same decorative stone pattern as we've done at Cooper Street, Lansing, and Elm to kind of match that whole theme.
Very nice. And the actual switch out, when it's going to, you actually lift the railroad tracks off the bridge and put in the new bridge, in one day.
We've got that set up for a 5-day window.
Oh, okay.
We were able to work with Amtrak and the other railroad operators to kind of identify a 5-day window where we could do all that work.
So they would just stop the train for 5 days?
Correct.
Wow.
So Amtrak has to actually arrange some kind of bus bypasses.
Oh.
So they would bypass from either Albion, Battle Creek, and bus to the next station in Ann Arbor or some other destination around the tracks. They won't stop the trains.
I see.
They will stop the trains, but they'll still provide the service using buses, is what I'm told. And that's scheduled for early next summer. We are going to have Mechanic Street and Jackson Street. Our target is to have that open to traffic towards the mid-November time range to kind of help reestablish that traffic flow for businesses in the area.
just a pause for the winter, but then it picks up again in the spring.
Correct. Yep.
All right. And then the other project, also involving a bridge, is 127 in Vandercook. And what's going on with that?
Yeah, so we are just about have our northbound bridge complete. We're actually in the midst of kind of doing our final reviews to make sure we've done all the steel repairs and everything on that bridge before we put traffic to it. And then I think I've mentioned before on the show, we ran into some additional steel deterioration and rusting when we got into the project. So we're actually looking at having that construction zone active all winter. And the contractor will be working on the southbound bridge, and we'll have traffic on the northbound bridge all winter. Trying to make up some time and get done earlier next summer instead of kind of taking a whole nother season. They said that they'd be willing to work during the winter and kind of get done earlier next year.
So I was just on it. I don't. It's not there's no traffic disruption, is there? It's just narrowed.
Correct.
There, right?
Correct. So we've got it down. Normally we'd have 2 lanes in each direction, and we've got it down to 1 lane. But generally, I drive that way every day. I live outside the Brooklyn area, so that's my route home and my route back to work. And there, generally, I haven't seen any delays. Traffic stopped unless there's been some kind of crash. Right. People slow down a little bit for the work zone, but it flows very well.
Other than this project where they will work through the winter, everything else will shut down. Do you set a date, or does it just depend on what happens with the weather?
It really is the weather. Generally our dates are November 15th, but for the past several years since I've been working on these big projects, they're much later than that. We're targeting generally around the end of November for almost all of our jobs to kind of be substantially wrapped up. There'll be lots of cleanup and stuff after that, but after that it just gets too cold to pour concrete. Our asphalt plants shut down because they require so much heat and gas to power them. That mix has to be 300 degrees when it reaches our project. So to heat up a silo in very cold weather is just cost prohibitive.
Yeah. Although it looked like do you have bonfires going on the construction site?
There could be. Sometimes the contractors use that to get rid of some of their stuff if they've got the right permits and whatnot in place.
Yeah, it looked like that in the first picture. Looked like there was evidence of one bonfire being constructed. Awesome. Well, you guys keep up the great work, and thanks for all the updates.
Thanks for having me.
Good to see you.
You too.
From the Michigan Department of Transportation, Jackson TSC Manager, Kelby Wallace.